So I heard you like starter Pokemon. What is up everyone, and welcome to another short and sweet guide for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Today I'm going to show you where to find every single starter Pokemon from Gen 1 through 4 in the Grand Underground. So if you haven't unlocked this feature yet, go visit the Underground Man in Eterna City right next to the Pokemon Center to get yourself the Explorer Kit and begin your adventure in the tunnels beneath Sinnoh. In order to start encountering the starters, you're going to need to obtain the National Dex first, which you can only do after you've completed the main story playthrough and become the champion of Sinnoh. Once you're in the post-game, go to Professor Rowan's lab and he'll analyze your Pokedex, and as long as you've seen every single Pokemon in Sinnoh, you don't actually need to catch them, just have seen all of them, he will reward you with the National Dex. So if you're missing a Pokemon from the Dex, there's probably a trainer somewhere in Sinnoh that you forgot to battle, but you can look up the Dex number online to see exactly which Pokemon it is and where to find it. Even if you fought every trainer in Sinnoh, there will always be a few blank entries remaining towards the end of the Dex, which belong to the legendaries. More specifically, the Lake Guardians, Azulf, Mesprit, and Uxie, which you're going to have to catch or defeat in order to complete the Sinnoh Dex. Now there's one final spot which belongs to the cover legendary that's not your version exclusive, so if you're playing Brilliant Diamond, you'll find Palkia missing from your Pokedex, but you can actually fill in its entry by visiting Cynthia's grandma in Celestic Town. I'm not sure how grandma met Dialga or Palkia, but that's cool. Now your Pokedex should finally be complete, so head back to Professor Rowan and he will reward you with the National Dex, which will unlock a ton more Pokemon in the Underground, including the starters from Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, and Sinnoh. And although the Underground may seem pretty massive when you first get into it, finding specific Pokemon down here isn't all that complicated, since you'll find the same Pokemon no matter what part of the Underground you're in, as long as you're in the correct hideaway. So if you're looking for the grass starters Bulbasaur, Chikorita, Trico, and Turtwig, you'll want to look in the Grassland Cave, which are marked on the Underground map as green squares. If you didn't know, every time you leave and re-enter one of these hideaways, the spawns inside reset, and if you're in the post-game, there's a chance that any of the grassland caves can contain grass-type starter Pokemon. I would say the grass starters are the hardest ones to find simply because they blend into the background because they're green and so is the grass on the ground. But the process itself is pretty simple, just keep running in and out of the hideaway and eventually you will spot yourself a Bulbasaur, or perhaps Chikorita, maybe even a Trico or Turtwig. I think you get the point. Now the water starters can be found in the Fountain Spring Cave, which are the blue squares on the Underground map. First there's Squirtle of Kanto, of course, but you can also find Totodile from Johto, Mudkip, my personal favorite, and of course Piplup from Sinnoh. So yeah, you can even find the starters from Gen 4, regardless of which one you picked at the beginning of your playthrough. Finally, we've got the fire starters Charmander, Cyndaquil, Torchic, and Chimchar, which can all be encountered in the Volcanic Cave hideaway, or the red squares on the map. You can also encounter them in the half red, half brown squares, and if you haven't noticed yet, the top right section of the Underground here contains all three biomes you need pretty close to each other, so it's definitely the area I recommend as the easiest place to find all the starters. And you can get here by digging down from the post-game island known as the Battle Zone. If for some reason you're struggling to find them, one thing that might help you out are the Pokemon statues that you can gather as you explore the Underground and dig. And you can place these statues in your secret base to increase the chances of encountering a certain type of Pokemon depending on the type of the statues. The little orb at the entrance will indicate what the current effect is. So if it's glowing blue, that means water Pokemon are more likely to spawn. But honestly, you don't even need these in order to encounter the starters. Just keep running in and out of the specific biomes that I mentioned, and you should be able to encounter them all eventually. One last thing to mention is all of these starter Pokemon can be shiny hunted, but they will not appear shiny in the overworld. So this little sprite you see when you're walking around in the cave will never look shiny until you actually run into the Pokemon in battle. And I've heard that when you collect the 40 Digletts, it actually increases the chance of getting a shiny. So keep that in mind if you're trying to get yourself some shiny starters. Patience is a virtue when it comes to hunting Pokemon in the Underground. I know it can get tedious just running in and out, but if you want to find all the starters, like, this is probably one of the easiest methods in any Pokemon game, honestly. So get out there and catch yourself some starter Pokemon. Leave a like if this video helped you out, and stay tuned for the rest of my Brilliant Diamond and Pearl playthrough. We got plenty of more guides coming up as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.